Hey gang, welcome to Nate Flow's level 2 of Nordic curls and hip flexion. So for today's class, you're gonna need 2 yoga blocks, a towel or a blanket, and for the strength portion of today, you're gonna need a Smith machine, a lat pull down machine, a Nordic curl machine, or a friend, family, or partner that can assist you in that. So let's go ahead and let's jump on the Smith machine. Alright guys, welcome to the strength portion of our Nordic curls. So there's a couple ways to do this. First off, you can use a lat machine, so you would have your heels underneath the foam cushion of the lat machine, and then you would come into your Nordic curl. Today, I'm going to explain to use the Smith machine and then later a partner. So for the Smith machine, you're going to need weights on each side. You're going to need a bench and then a padding. So the foot setup for this is the top of my foot is pressing against the bench as my heels, or my Achilles is locked, pressing against the pad. So for the Nordic curl today, what we're going to do is I'm going to lock my hips above my knees. So in a full Nordic curl, my hips come forward and I'm in the anterior tilt, and then I come back. But today we're going to isolate the hips, so that's the fixed position as the body moves. So as our cues, I'm going to press the heels up towards the bar. Okay, find my anterior pelvic tilt where my glutes are engaged, force compression. Then as I come down, I'm going to come into shoulder retraction and lift the chin. All right, so let's go for a set of 5. So inhale, bend at the hips, anterior pelvic tilt, hamstrings are active, bringing my chest towards the bench, lift the chin. Exhale, come up to your posterior pelvic tilt, locking and stacking the spine. Inhale, come down. Exhale, press. Inhale, heels, hamstrings, glutes, anterior pelvic tilt, force tight, retract the shoulders, lift the chin. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, press. Stack the spine at the top. Inhale, come down. Exhale, press. So that's how you do it with the Smith machine, guys. Let's go ahead and we're going to do a second set of 5, and then I'm going to show you how to use it with a partner. So top of the foot pressing against the bench, top of the heel pressing against the bar. Find your anterior pelvic tilt, engage the glutes, hamstrings should be locked in with your anterior pelvic tilt, core tight. Inhale, come down, retract the shoulders, lift the chin. Exhale, press posterior pelvic tilt, stack and lock your spine. Inhale for 4. Exhale, 3. 2 more. Inhale, heels, hamstrings, anterior pelvic tilt. 4, retraction, lift the chin. Pull with the heels, hammies, and your anterior tilt as you come up. Exhale, find your mountain pose on your knees. Let's go ahead and move on inside, guys. So guys, if you happen to have a partner that can help you in your Nordic curls, it's another way to practice the strength of the anterior pelvic tilt if you don't have access to a lat pull down machine, a Nordic curl machine, or a Smith machine. So what Gary's going to do is he's going to press his hands against my heels. So my heels are going to be pressing up against Gary's hands, and that's going to allow me resistance to come into my Nordic curl. So remember, my hips are going to stay stacked above my knees. I'm going to press my heels up towards Gary. Okay, hamstrings are engaged. Anterior pelvic tilt as my chest comes forward. Great, and traction, come up. All right, so we're going to do 4 more. Press the heels against Gary, hamstring, anterior pelvic tilt as I come down. Retract the shoulders, lift the chin, come up. Inhale. Okay, inhale, come down. Heels, hammies, anterior pelvic tilt, core tight, shoulder retraction. Exhale, come up. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, posterior pelvic tilt. Lock the spine. Inhale, heels, hammies, anterior tilt, core, retraction. Exhale. So you're using the strength of the glutes and the anterior pelvic tilt to press up into your mountain pose. So starting our flow now, guys, we're going to come into, once again, the push-up part of the chaturanga. So in level 1, we use the blocks. Now we're going to try a cat chaturanga without the blocks, but we're going to maintain our cat position. So planting the palms, you can find slight external rotation of the wrists. I'm pressing away from my mat, straightening my elbows, strengthening my scapula by protracting and depressing them, okay? Core compression, posterior pelvic tilt, right? Using the glutes to lock in the lats and the core, engaging my heels towards my glutes. Okay, so now from here, remember, I'm locking my spine, my kinetic chain, especially my protraction as I come down. So we're going to inhale, bend the arms, lock the chain, exhale, press up. Inhale, come down, exhale, press, tucking the triceps in, find your chain, inhale, come down, exhale, press. We're going to do 3 more. Inhale, find your chain, protract at the bottom, exhale, press. 2 more, come down, and press. Last one, find your chain, shoulders, core, glutes, heels, inhale, come down, shoulders are locked, protracted, depress, hold, exhale, press. Awesome job, guys. Let's go ahead and jump into our downward facing dog here. All right. Pressing through the palms, elbows are straight, pressing the chest towards the quads, engaging the heels towards your mat to lengthen the hamstring. Inhale, right heel comes high, square hips, pressing through the outside of the left heel and then through the right toes. Exhale, bend the knee, press through, protract the shoulders, arching the upper back, core compression, knee towards chest. As you come forward, plant the foot as far as you can in between the hands. Inhale, bend that front right knee, press through the right heel. We're going to press up into our crescent lunge. Right heel, pressing down and back to pivot the right hip back, engage the hamstring. Now engage the quad, externally rotate that front right knee, pressing the ball of the back of the foot down and forward, bringing my left hip pivoting forward to square the hips. Okay, engaging both glutes, posterior pelvic tilt, core compression, shoulder depression, prayer pose, relax the jaw, ujjayi breath. Drop your tongue. Nice and steady, expanding through the diaphragm as your kinetic chain is locked. Use your breath to find and expand your awareness through the diaphragm. Okay, guys, keeping the lower body locked. Inhale, shoulder elevation. Exhale, pivot that back foot to a 45-degree angle. Straighten that right knee. And now bring both of your yoga blocks on high on the outside of the right foot. So, in my pyramid pose, we're practicing hip flexion over the single leg. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift my right toes, okay? So I'm pressing the right heel down and back, my back left heel down and forward, right? Hips are square. Inhale, press the hips back to find that anterior pelvic tilt, okay? Core's tight. Retracting my shoulders as my chest comes closer towards my shins, right? Okay? Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, squeeze and press. Okay? So once you find your blocks, go ahead and find the breath again. Hips are square. This would be open. Now they're square. Pressing through the heels. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, muscle contraction to find depth. Okay? Toes are flexing towards your shin. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, squeeze. And we're gonna go for 5. Following your breath. 4, 3, 2, relax your jaw, steady breath in and out through the diaphragm. 1, Inhale, ground the sole of the right foot, bend the knee, press through the heel, grab your blanket or towel, place it underneath the left knee. We're gonna come down. We're gonna find our King Arthur here. So, what we're gonna do now is, it's the same form as level 1. I'm pressing my right heel down and back as I lean. My hamstring activates. Then I activate my quad to externally rotate my right knee. I engage my left heel towards my left glute as I come to the top of the kneecap on the left leg, okay? There's going to be a lot more support and safety there. And now my left hand is going to come around. I'm going to point through the left toes and grab the top of the left foot. So, my cues from here. Heel and knee stay the same on the right leg. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to press the top of the left foot towards my mat. Okay, so I'm pressing it down as I resist with my left shoulder. So make sure your left shoulder is in depression to find that chain between the left foot and the left shoulder. Okay, so as I press, I find my posterior pelvic tilt. So both glutes are engaged, curling the tailbone forward to lengthen through my hip flexor as my top foot, the left foot, is active. Okay, hands can come on the inside. Okay, continue to lean, press posterior pelvic tilt, core compression, shoulder depression. We're gonna hold for 8, 7. You engage the heel, but you can also pull with the arm. 6. This is too easy. You can lift the right arm and come into elevation. Like, make sure this stays externally rotated through the quad. We're gonna go for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, release your grip, slowly ground that back left foot. Okay, make yourself a little bit of room. Go ahead and grab both your blocks here. We're gonna come into our half split. Okay, this time we're cutting out the strap from level 1 and we're just gonna use our strength in our blocks. So extend that right leg. Okay, so we're going to start with the left knee underneath the left hips, bringing the blocks around the knee area. Okay, so right heel pressing down and back. You can bend the knee, okay, modify the knee. Remember, straight spine is primary to bending that front right knee. Okay, let's go ahead and press the top of the left foot and the left knee down and forward. We're squaring our hips. Okay, inhale, hip flexion, anterior pelvic tilt, squeezing the glutes as I find my tilt, okay? Core is tight, shoulder retraction. You can lift the chin for a little extra lengthening using our blocks here. Okay, if your chest starts getting too close to your quad, press through the heel and the knee to make room for a deeper hip flexion. But remember, keep the spine straight. We're gonna go for 8, 7. Modify any blocks that you need. You can maybe bring it forward into a medium. 5, 4. Hip square, pressing the heel down and back, knee down and forward. 3. Anterior tilt, core retraction, lift. 2. Last breath, guys. Inhale, bend the front right knee. Go ahead, walk back, press up. Bring the hand on the inside. Bring that right leg forward. Set your blocks to the side. Now let's go ahead and cover our forward fold, facing the opposite end of our mat if you want to follow me and switch. Alrighty, so we're going to come into an outside grip or a gorilla grip. I kind of prefer, it's kind of like a gorilla grip, but it's on the outside of the foot because I feel from there I can find more activation through my heels, lengthening my backside. So what we're going to do, just to start, we're going to find our mountain, okay? Heels pressing through the mat and towards the back wall, activating the hamstrings, quads, glutes active, posterior tilt, this would be neutral, posterior, see how the hips knit towards the lower rib cage, core compress, shoulder depression, okay? Inhale, exhale, press through the heels, finding my anterior pelvic tilt, core's tight, retraction. And so in level 1, we use the strap, okay? So once you get good with the strap, I want you to use your fingers and use the outside of your foot to step right on where I have calluses, but on the knuckles of the palm. Okay, so we're here. We can bend the knees, right? We can modify a little bit, but our cues, I'm going to be pressing through my heels down and back, okay? So I'm actively straightening my knees, but you don't have to straighten the knees. You're actively doing it so you can find your anterior tilt, okay? Retraction. You can pull with your hands for depression and lift the chin, okay? Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, give in the knees, squeeze, okay? Muscle activation to pull the chest towards the quads, pressing through the heels, okay? Inhale, see if you can slightly lengthen, straighten the knees. Exhale, squeeze. Okay, anterior tilt, retraction, you can pull with your lats, depressed in this forward fold position. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. We're gonna go for 5. 4, 3, 2. Last breath, guys. Find your focus, find your steadiness. Exhale, move the hands, tuck the chin, bend the knees, slowly roll the spine back up to posterior pelvic tilt, mountain position. Good. So now let's come on the ground. We're going to do our cat push-ups on the other side. Go ahead and find your cat position, right? Planting the palms, you can find slight external rotation in the wrist. Okay, knees stuck underneath hips. Okay, shoulder protraction, depression, core compression, posterior pelvic tilt. Engage the heels towards the glutes, okay? Locking my kinetic chain. I'm going to inhale, bend at the elbows, tucking the triceps in. Exhale, press. We're going to go for 5 more. Inhale, find your chain. Come down. Hold, protract the press at the bottom. Exhale, press. Inhale, come down. Press. 3, 2, last one. Find your chain, shoulder, protraction, depression, core compression, posterior pelvic tilt. Engage the glutes, heels towards. Inhale, lock your chain at the bottom. Exhale, press through. Let's come into our downward facing dog. Okay, pressing through the palms, elbows are straight. Pressing the chest towards your quads, right? So, don't compensate pressing through the heels to bring the chest more towards the wrist. Stay actively pressing through to lengthen that back line as the heels ground. Inhale, left heel to sky, hips stay square as you lengthen. Exhale, press through the right toes, bend the left knee, protract and depress the shoulders, core compression as the knee comes through. Plant the foot as far as you can. Inhale, bend the left knee, press up to your crescent lunge. Let's go ahead and find a prayer pose. Okay, so my back, the ball of my back right foot is pressing down and forward to bring my right hip forward. Engage that right quad. Left heel is pressing down and back to bring the left hip back. Right quad's engaged for that external rotation of the left knee. Posterior pelvic tilt. Practice the strength of your glutes here to stack the spine. Core compression, shoulder depression. Relax the jaw, relax your face. Drop your tongue. Steady breath in through the nose. As the chain's locked, expand the diaphragm. Exhale, stay active. 2 of those breaths. Beautiful job, guys. It's not always easy stuff, but through our breath and our awareness, we find growth. Inhale, lower body's locked. Go ahead and bring up to shoulder elevation, pressing the shoulders up towards the ears. palms come high. Exhale, find your warrior one. Back foot comes to 45. This would be 90. This is 0. This is 45. Okay, have your blocks ready. We're gonna find our pyramid pose, guys. Back foot at 45. Inhale, straighten this left knee. And now remember, we're gonna come up on the heel. So we're flexing the left toes towards the left shin. My back right heel is pressing down and forward to square my hips. Left heel down and back. Quad is active. Let's find our hip flexion. Inhale, as the heels are grounded, I'm going to anterior tilt my pelvis. Core is tight. Chest is retracted. Chin's lifted as I'm closing the gap in my hip flexion. Let's go ahead and find our hands on the high block. We're going to go for 8 breaths here, guys. Inhale, lengthen through your chain all the way from the heels, knees, hips, core, shoulders, neck. Exhale, squeeze. Find depth with the straight, strong spine. 6. 4. 3. Steady breath, guys. Use your breath to activate your muscles, to release information, to find depth and growth. 2. Last breath. Hold, stay strong. Inhale, bend that front knee, press back up. Grab your blanket or towel on the back right knee. We're coming into that King Arthur. All right, so cues. Left heel down and back. And you notice as you bring the knee forward and you press the heel down and back, it's going to activate that hamstring, and the quad is engaged to externally rotate the knee. So as you build strength in your knees, ankles, quads, hamstrings, even the calves, as long as the muscles are active throughout the leg, it's going to be fine if the knee passes over the toes. But you have to be active. If you don't have the strength to be active, don't practice that yet. Be slow and steady, and then eventually you'll be able to be active throughout the whole lower chain, including your glutes, to have that knee safe here, okay? So heel down, back, engage in the hamstring, quad. Let's go ahead and lean forward on that back right knee. Okay, engaging the right heel towards the right glute. Point through the right toes, grab the top of the right foot. Okay, so from here, the top of the right foot, I'm engaging it towards the mat as I resist with my right arm. My right shoulder is in depression, so I can feel the depression of the lat, the contraction of the core, the posterior pelvic tilt of my hips, and then pressing so you find that chain there, okay? So let's lean. Posterior pelvic tilt to lengthen the hip flexor and to stack the spine. We're gonna hold for 8. Everything active from the left side too. 7, 6, pulling is secondary. 5, 4, 3, 2. You can lift the hand into elevation if you would like. 1, a half, a quarter, come down. Exhale, slowly bring that right foot down. Let's grab both of our blocks again, guys. Almost done here. Half splits, left side. Make sure you got space. Top of the right foot is grounded, okay? We're coming on top, I guess I should say on bottom, of the left heel. Okay? Blocks are high and ready. So my right knee is pressing down and forward, along with the top of the right foot. Whatever is grounded is pressing, that's behind me is pressing down and forward. My left heel is pressing down and back to square the hips and then flex toes towards the shin. Hamstrings and quads are active. Glutes are engaged. Inhale, anterior pelvic tilt, core is tight. Retract the shoulders. You can lift the chin here if you would like. Okay. Active through the front heel, back knee. through my anterior pelvic tilt and my spine. Modify your blocks, okay? You can bend the knee here. Remember, what's most important is the straight spine. If you close that gap between the chest and quad, press through the heel to straighten the knee to find more depth. We're gonna go for 6. 6 breaths. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze the chain to find depth. 4, 3, 2. Last breath here, guys. Really use your breath to find your depth, to squeeze the muscle, to create new breath. Beautiful. Inhale, bend the knee. Go ahead and bring the left hand on the inside, and then come back. All right, guys, so we're gonna do level 2, working up to our plow pose. So we can set all our equipment to the side for now, for class today. And now we're gonna practice our shoulder stand. So we did, in level 1, we did the interlaced bridge, and now we're gonna work on coming into a shoulder stand, which is gonna build a lot of support in your bridge. So for a shoulder stand, I'm gonna come on my back, okay? Heels come to glutes, pressing the heels down and back. I'm pressing through, engaging my hips, pressing towards the ceiling. Core is tight. And so now from here, I am going to do the interlace method to retract my shoulder blades through rolling them together. That's going to protect the spine. And so now from our interlace bridge, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ground my hands, roll the spine down, and then I'm going to bring the feet slightly above my head where my hips are starting to get stacked underneath my shoulders. So I'm going to bring my hands underneath the sacrum where I have a nice triangular shape here as a frame. So supporting my sacrum, I'm going to press through my hips, supporting my lower back to stack my shoulders, hips, knees, and the ankle in one line. Okay, we're going to hold for 10, 9, pressing through the toes, quads are active, posterior pelvic tilt, core compression, shoulder retraction. 5, 4, 3. You can walk the hands down for depth. 2, 1. Inhale. Slowly press the hips towards the ground as the feet come above. Tuck the chin. Slowly roll down. Bend the knees. We're going to come here. All right, guys. So last part, we're going to come into a standing position. So let's find our mountain pose. Pressing through the heels, down and back, quads, hamstrings active, neutral. Engage the glutes, that posterior pelvic tilt, knitting the rib cage with the hips, core is tight, shoulder depression. So now from here, I'm going to interlace my fingers once again and bring it to the back of my head. Okay, so now from here, I'm going to curl the crown of my head towards the quads, all right? And so like I said in level 1, it's lengthening the back line. So you can feel it all the way from the toes and maybe the forehead. So let's go ahead and start. Interlacing from here, we're pressing through. Inhale, exhale, start to curl. Okay, pressing through the heels. Inhale, exhale, squeeze. Okay, as you find that hip flexion, right, the anterior tilt starts to activate, and I want to go for 6. Exhale, squeeze. Press through the heels as you inhale. Exhale, curl. 5. 2. Stay strong, use your breath. Last breath here, guys, and curl. Inhale, bend the knees. Slowly roll the spine up. Exhale, let go. Go ahead and roll the neck a couple times. Good, guys. Thank you so much for being on this body journey with me, guys. Thank you for supporting Nate Flows. It means a lot to me. I really do love you all. And let's continue to grow together. Namaste.